Such a huge variety of covers is waiting out there for us. Let's see what we can find and how to classify at least some of them. Covers do differ in value, not only by the value of the affixed stamps and cancels, but other characteristics as well. Let us also look at some cover terminology. Some terminology is self-evident, such as these two Chinese covers, which are referred to as single frankings, and additionally, they are airmail covers at the postal rate of 80 fen each. Postal rates are important as they keep changing. Here, a Taiwanese single franking with a 10 new Taiwanese dollar stamp, canceled by a Chinese only hand stamp. And here, a German high postage single franking airmail cover. As you can see, the 22 grams, the marking right here in the upper left, by the postal clerk, puts this cover, as per specialized cover catalog, into the so-called second weight class by 1 gram, making the 2-mark stamp in the Type 2 the correct postage by airmail to the United States in 1952. Every factor I mentioned is necessary to determine value in conjunction only with that specialized catalog. In this case, the value is of approximately 200 US dollars. This is hard to believe, perhaps, but isn't it, since such a stamp off cover catalogs only about 50 cents. So don't soak them off. Covers with high postage are often of better value. On this cover, the tax stamp, the blue Tupfennig Berlin, has no bearing on the total postage. It is a donation which is collected to rebuild the city of Berlin, and it was mandatory for a certain time frame. Okay, this particular cover is of what we refer to as multiple franking. Multiple is referred to when all stamps are of the same design, denomination, color, everything identical. So at least 2 or more identical stamps are necessary to classify it as multiple franking. This particular stamp in multiple franking on cover catalogs about $6. If it were a single franking, it would be about $4. And if it was in mixed franking, meaning at least 2 or more different stamps on cover, So yeah, a different one, of the same or lesser value. Um, it would catalog 50 cents. But there is one other version of this stamp and others of definitive series that catalogs much more than the mentioned values of this particular stamp. I will explain in another video. Philippine Islands. With that many of the same, some refer to it as mass franking. Typically, mass franking also holds true very frequently during Chinese, German, etc. countries' inflation periods, when you really plaster the cover with many, many stamps. And if they are of the same denomination, such as here, we will refer to it as mass franking. So how do you calculate value? In general, on all regular covers that have 2 or more different stamps on it, take the highest cat value stamp on cover price and add all remaining stamps as used stamps. With multiple or mass frankings, use 2 stamps on cover and add the rest as used singles. More value may be possible, of course, due to cancels, origin of the cover, destination, etc., etc. Many things that we've mentioned already before, or plate flaws and what have you. And here's another Philippine Island cover, but this one is in mixed franking, which is obvious because it's mixed because of different types of stamps affixed on it. Again, for value, the most expensive on cover price plus the remainder add as used stamps. Also not to forget other characteristics as mentioned before. Here, 2 Taiwanese covers in mixed franking, optically very clean and attractive. And yet another Taiwanese cover in mixed franking also. All the Taiwanese covers shown in this video have the same postage of $10 Taiwanese. The postal rate stayed unchanged in the mid-60s. Back to Germany. Here we have what is referred to as 10 times franking. Yes, you said, because of currency reform on June 24, 1948, in the Soviet-occupied zone of Germany. That means instead of having the postage of 8 marks and 44 pfennig, it now is worth 1/10 of that, meaning of 84.4 cents. For this registered letter, 84, I should say, pfennig is the correct rate. The 0.4 extra pfennig does not impact the value because the little over-franking is so minimal. For the cheapest variety in regards to color, etc., the catalog value is at approximately $140 US. Remember, a registered cover should always have a receiving cancel on the back, such as this one here from Zwickau in Saxony. Rarely the postman does forget this, very rare, but sometimes they do. Another well-known terminology is, of course, the first day cover, addressed or unaddressed, as these two examples show. These are typically valued as first day covers, but can and occasionally have extras that can increase the value. These two attractive and clean covers can be purchased for just a very few low dollars. And again, Germany. This one, however, from 1937 as a first day cover, tells a different story. It may look similar to the previous two, but in fact, it actually catalogs over $300. Try not to underestimate plain looking covers. A provisionary local from Nechkow of the Soviet zone of Germany of August 4th, 1945. So just a few months after the end of World War II, can be easily overlooked, also in part due to the kind of heavy cancel. Also, when you rummage through a dealer's cover box, pay close attention because these type of covers with the local provisionary stamps sometimes can catalog a few dollars. In this case, it is approximately $95. Here are two more provisionary usages of the western zone of Germany in this case. From the same city, both of these, same post office, same sender, but mailed about a half a year apart. All the same except two different fee paid or postage paid. This one on the left, right up here, was done with a hand stamp in big bold letters. And on the right, we have it in kind of a violet or purple color, meaning the same thing, fee paid. So pay close attention to that because as plain as they look, they do have varying catalog values and typically in the 2 digits, but can also go beyond. These are also very collectible and should really not be overlooked. So watch that closely when you again rummage through lots of covers. Not too many are familiar or interested perhaps in such material if it doesn't have a stamp on it. But nonetheless, they're a good item for cover postcard collector. And back to the Soviet zone again with a what we call philatelic or collector's cover, overframed by over 10%. And that puts it into such a category. 84 pfennig would be the correct amount. The value here is the used stamps, maybe color variety, and maybe plate flaw possibilities. And yes, I did spot a listed plate flaw, which catalogs approximately $30. On the 8 pfennig stamp right here, you can see pretty clearly that the 8 and the word pfennig and the other 8 are very close to the edge of the bottom of the frame, the coloring, as the others of the same set have a normal spacing between the end of the stamp and the denomination. So, very easily overlooked also. It's not a huge amount, but nonetheless, it's better than just the basic stamp. This cover is a value letter with the amount enclosed shown on the envelope right up here, 1,000 Reichsmark. At that time in 1947, the terminology of Reichsmark was used before the currency reform. This cover also, aside from the amount that is enclosed, also has the appropriate label. Instead of the typical R for registration, this one has the V for value. So this has to be attached, as well as typically the letter is sealed by the post office right here. Or perhaps it could be the bank as well. I'm not sure on that one. But they're typically sealed. The weight up here of 51 grams puts this cover in the third weight class. Therefore, the postage amount is, out of all of this, 48 pfennig. The value fee is 40 pfennig, and the handling fee to do all this at the post office is 100 pfennig, or 1 Reichsmark. All totaled 1.88 Reichsmark, which we have exactly to the penny, all correct. The letter was mailed, yes, in 1947. Well, that's it for now, but in an upcoming video, I will talk a little bit more basics about covers and cards and whatever else falls into this category. So I hope you liked my video. With your generosity, yes, I do appreciate your thumbs up, and hopefully you will hit my subscribe button. Thank you so very much for watching. As you can see in this video, even on some basics about covers, there are so many aspects to covers, so many varieties, so many possibilities. It's a really, really fascinating area to collect, I feel. So good luck and keep on searching. My channel, stamps, space, my fun things. Thank you so very much again. Stay healthy. That's what we need to do at this time. Have a nice day also, of course.